Hey, y'all, Pastor James here with another chapter in our daily Bible study on the book of Genesis. Today we're going to dive into chapter 38. Genesis 38 provides an unexpected interruption in the Joseph narrative, focusing instead on Judah, one of Jacob's other sons. This chapter contains a scandalous and complex account involving Judah and his daughter-in-law Tamar. Though troubling, it reveals God's commitment to preserving the line of promise and highlights the transformation that begins in Judah's character. So let's dive now into the biblical text. It came to pass at that time that Judah departed from his brothers and visited a certain Adulamite whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua, and he married her and went into her. So she conceived and bore a son, and he called his name She conceived again and bore a son, and she called his name Onan. And she conceived yet again and bore a son, and called his name Shelah. He was at Chezib when she bore him. Then Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord killed him. And Judah said to Onan, Go into your brother's wife and marry her, and raise up an heir to your brother. But Onan knew that the heir would not be his, and it came to pass when he went into his brother's wife, that he emitted on the ground, lest he should give an heir to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, therefore he killed him also. Then Judah said to Tamar his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow in your father's house till my son Shelah is grown. For he said, Lest he also die like his brothers. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Now in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted and went up to his sheep shears at Timnah, he and his friend Hira the Adulamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, Look, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. So she took off her widow's garments, covered herself with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place which was on the way to Timnah, for she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given to him as a wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a harlot, because she had covered her face. Then he turned to her by the way and said, Please let me come in to you, for he did not know that she was his daughter-in-law. So she said, What will you give me that you may come into me? And he said, I will send a young goat from the flock. So she said, Will you give me a pledge till you send it? Then he said, What pledge shall I give you? So he said, Your signet and cord and your staff that is in your hand. Then he gave them to her and went into her, and she conceived by him. So she arose and went away and laid aside her veil and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the young goat by the hand of his friend the Adulamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he did not find her. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, Where is the harlot who was openly by the roadside? And they said, There was no harlot in this place. So he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. Also the men of the place said there was no harlot in this place. Then Judah said, Let her take them for herself, lest we be shamed. For I sent this young goat, and you have not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after that Judah was told, saying, Tamar your daughter-in-law has played the harlot, furthermore she is with child by harlotry. So Judah said, Bring her out and let her be burned. When she was brought out, she said to her father-in-law, saying, By the man to whom these belong, I am with child. And she said, Please determine who these are, the signet and cord and staff. So Judah acknowledged them and said, She has been more righteous than I, because I did not give her to Shelah my son. And he never knew her again. Now it came to pass at the time for giving birth that, behold, twins were in her womb. And so it was, when she was giving birth, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took a scarlet thread and bound it on his hand, saying, This one came out first. Then it happened, as he drew back his hand, that his brother came out unexpectedly, and she said, How did you break through? This breach be upon you. Therefore his name was called Perez. Afterward his brother came out, who had the scarlet thread on his hand, and his name was called Zerah. May God bless the reading of his word. Now, there are several key themes in the chapter. The first one being Judah's separation from his family. Judah went down from his brothers and settled among the Canaanites, marrying the daughter of a man named Shua. This physical and spiritual distancing foreshadows Judah's moral decline. His union with a Canaanite woman contrasts with the covenant ideal of remaining separate from the nations. Our second key theme is the wickedness of Judah's sons. Judah's firstborn, is put to death by the Lord for unspecified wickedness. Judah commands his second son, Onan, to fulfill the levirate duty by fathering a child for through Tamar. Onan refuses to provide offspring and acts selfishly, leading to his death by divine judgment. Our third key theme is Tamar's deception. Judah withholds his third son, Shelah, from Tamar, fearing he might die too. Tamar takes matters into her own hands, disguising herself as a prostitute, then deceives Judah to secure her right to continue the family line. Judah unknowingly sleeps with Tamar and gives her his seal, cord, and staff as a pledge. Our fourth key theme is Judah's confrontation and change. When Tamar is found to be pregnant, Judah initially condemns her to death. Upon realizing his own role through the pledge items, Judah declares, "She is more righteous than I." This moment marks the beginning of Judah's moral awakening and will be important for his later leadership role in Genesis. Our fifth key theme is the birth of Perez and Zerah. Tamar gives birth to twins, Perez and Zerah. Perez, the younger, unexpectedly breaks through first, echoing the theme of the younger surpassing the older, as we've seen several other times in the book of Genesis. Perez becomes a key figure in the messianic line, listed in the genealogies of both David and Jesus. Our sixth key theme is God's sovereign preservation of the line. Despite human sin, deception, and failure, God ensures that the line leading to the Messiah continues. Tamar, though an outsider and wronged woman, becomes part of the redemptive story through God's providence. And that is chapter 38 of Genesis. A little bit of an unexpected story. We just interrupted the story of Joseph that we had really just started in chapter 37 with a story about his brother Judah and what happens to him. So hope you liked it. Like I said, a little bit different story, but another good lesson in what God can do in the end to make things right and stay with the covenant. So hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button, leave me a comment. Let me know that you're liking what I'm doing. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until we meet again for the next chapter, take care of yourself and God bless you.